You know that feeling when you've held a very strong opinion for a long time, and at a certain point you revisit that strong feeling, that opinion, and you realize that you were wrong? Well, I had my mind shattered a couple of days ago by a certain book, which I so wrongly judged, and I'd like to make an apology. That would be to Robert Louis Stevenson and his book, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So, I think 4 years ago, in 2022, I listened to this book via audio. I believe it was my first ever audiobook. I think I can count the number of audiobooks I've listened to on my fingers. I'm not a very good auditory learner. But back in 2022, when I was trying out the audiobook, I really did not enjoy the story. The audiobook was read by Richard Armitage. He is the actor who famously played Thorin Oakenshield in the Hobbit movies. I'm sure he's done other stuff too, but I'm not familiar. And he narrated the thing, and I thought he had a good voice, but I I really didn't get along with hearing the prose. I didn't really I didn't really take in the subtleties of what was happening, because Robert Louis Stevenson writes in a descriptive Victorian style that I think is much better attuned to visual reading instead of auditory hearing. So I didn't like the book in 2022, and I rated it 2 stars out of 5. And I've told people over the years that I didn't like The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So fast forward, I this past week I read the book again. I think I did an ebook from Project Gutenberg, and well, actually, I have the book up here somewhere. No, I don't. Never mind. It's somewhere here. But so I read the ebook, and man, I was so wrong. This is a delightful story. It is a novella. It's not very long. I think in most editions, the story itself would be less than 100 pages. But man, it was really good. Most people, I assume, know the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or at least the premise, where it's not even a spoiler at this point. There's one man with two personalities. One, Dr. Jekyll, is an esteemed doctor, and he's known for being pleasant and intelligent and such. And then Mr. Hyde is an alternate persona who is, one, he looks different than Jekyll. He is a vile, crooked in appearance, waif-like ball of violence, and he engages in despicable acts, and he has a temperamental demeanor, to say the least. But the story itself, it follows a friend of Dr. Jekyll's, Gabriel Utterson, who's a lawyer, and at the beginning of the book, he's disturbed by the will that Dr. Jekyll has written for himself, that he's given in possession to Utterson. And through a mutual friend, he learns a little more about the actions of Mr. Hyde. But things aren't, 2 and 2 isn't put together, of course, because who would suspect that these two people were the same? But I won't get into the actual story much. If you haven't read the book, you should. It's so short. You should go read it. if you're interested in classic literature, or I don't even I don't know if we can call this science fiction. I have some theories on um, it actually being a science fiction novel. I don't know if that is considered unfounded or not. I haven't researched this, but there were some physical aspects of the story where I'm like, either this is embellishment or something happened that's not exactly possible in the realm of current humanity. So maybe that is science fiction. But we'll not talk about that for now. But what did I like about this book that I didn't realize before? I will say the the prose style was beautiful from Stevenson. I really liked the writing. I thought it was much more adventurous, not adventure, much more passionate than the writing of Treasure Island. I read and liked Treasure Island, but it wasn't something that I had adored the writing style from. And Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, it has that eerie Victorian prose that I associate with, one, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and two, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. Both novels of which I think have some similar themes as well, with one, the fall of man, of course, and also the duality of man or human beings. In Frankenstein, of course, you have Frankenstein and the creature. In Dorian Gray, you have Dorian and the portrait. And in Jekyll and Hyde, you have Jekyll and Hyde. So I think those three works really complement each other. And I kept thinking about them throughout. So great prose, great themes of how it's funny. This is I don't know if this is a spoiler, but I read the Jekyll and Hyde transformations as I thought that was a commentary on addiction. Maybe not a commentary. I thought it was related to the struggles of addiction. I believe that is one way that we can read this book. Of course, there's many different avenues that a reader could take, and I'm not sure if Stevenson ever supplied a true behind the curtains look at what he was thinking. He may have, I'm not sure. But I saw it as addiction. I know some people have commented on this is a treatise on the suppression of homosexuality in Victorian London, or there's some other things. But the point of Jekyll's transformation is that he wants to separate out his evil side, the side that wants to indulge in vice, and he wants to separate it out from his good self. He's like, oh, there's a good part and an evil part, so if I just make this concoction, we can separate it out and everything will be great. Which is I think is a flawed premise from the start, in that that's not moral to. It seemed like Jekyll had some sort of weird sense of morality about this, but if you're creating a whole nother dude that's solely focused on engaging in sin or vice or whatever, that's really messed up. And if you can't control that, like by Jekyll drinking this potion to turn into Hyde all the time, he couldn't control that, and he's like, oh, if I just don't remember what happened when I was Hyde, it's okay. We'll just push that to the side. Like, no, that's still really messed up. So that was an interesting part of the story to consider, like Jekyll's motivations and philosophy behind the whole thing. And like, it was kind of cool what he did, but like the reasoning is all messed up. So that was kind of funny, but in the end, it is a very serious work. I think it's definitely a thoughtful and a deep work that allows for a lot of reader interpretation. And for a book that is so small, it was really awesome to read, and this is a book that I think I want to reread over and over again as I live. Like some books, you're like, oh, I could maybe see myself rereading that like in my life. This is one where I don't think it's perfect. As I mentioned, those other two novels, Frankenstein and Picture Dorian Gray, those are 5-star novels for me. This was a little lower than those, but I still see an immense capability for rereading here. And I'm very glad that I did reread it, or technically reread, because the first time was a listen. But I'm so glad I did reread because I was able to humble myself, I changed my mind, and I just was able to read a great novel. So, yeah. What are your thoughts on this book? Do you agree with any of my interpretations? I don't particularly have a strong grasp of literary theory, and I didn't research too much about what other people have said about the book because I wanted to be fresh with my own interpretation. So I could have been talking out of my own butt or wrong about some things, but that's okay. Let me know in the comments your thoughts. And yeah, I'm curious if there are other famous novels that I'm missing that have strong ties to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, other than Frankenstein and Dorian Gray. I could see something with Dracula and vampirism having a little tie-in too, but that's something I'd have to think about more before I declared it. But yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to expose myself mentally for my wrong opinion in 2022. So yeah, if you made it this far, thank you for watching, and don't forget the book club pick for April for the Traumatic Book Club is One Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich. I know we've already got a few booktubers who have signed up and are very excited to read this pick. But yeah, if you're reading that book, good luck. I have finished it. I liked it. But you won't hear my thoughts any more than that until the end of the month. I'll give you guys some time to read. And if other booktubers do make videos on this book, Ivan Denisovich, I will try to link those or do a community post so that if you have read it as a commenter or viewer and you want to hear some other opinions, some other thoughts, I can send you guys to those. But that's it.